Hi to all, welcome to the final event of the Turntable project, a project that I coordinate. I'm quite proud of this task that I have. So this is the final event of this project. It is a project promoted by the AAL. First of all, I wanted to show you which is the 2 hours that where we are together. And basically, we will speak about our project, in particular, what we did in the last 3 years. In particular, Turntable is a particular project that merge technologies, gardening, and elderly people. And we wanted to show you how we improve the life of elderly people thanks to the technology and good habits. So I will have a small introduction of the project. But basically, I wanted to ask also the other people that during the call we will join in order to show you that it is a collaborative project that considers a lot of people from the entire Europe. This is the good part also of this project. Additional people we will join also during the call, so we will have 2 hours that are quite full. Furthermore, at the end, also the people that are following us by our channel, that are Facebook and YouTube channel, can give us some questions. Presently, there are more than 50 people that are registered to the event. Probably there will be more during the call. So we are ready for your question and answer. If you are okay, I will ask to say hello to Balas, Daniela, and Bojan that are now connected. Hi, Daniela.
Hi everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Bojan. And this is quite good because we are from 3 completely different countries. Daniela is from Università of Cagliari in Sardinia, so Italy. Hi, Daniela. Balas is from Hungary. It's correct? So this is, thank you very much. He is responsible for all the technical activity. And Bojan is from Slovenia, and he provides us a very particular technology that we use during the project. So thank you very much. We started with this introduction. Hi to all, and I will ask you to join when you can and when it is planned for our project. So our agenda is in this way. First of all, I will give you a small introduction. Then we will have some introduction for the technical part that was managed by Balas from Hungary. And we support personally for Abinsula, a particular technology of Agrumino that we use during the project, and also Bojan with his technology. So we didn't develop, we not only develop everything, but also we tested, and we have some trials in a vegetable gardens for elderly people. And Daniela is one. They will show us exactly what we did for testing and also for analysis of all the data. Finally, if we receive some questions, we are very, very, very kind to answer, and to for every curiosity, we are ready to work with you. So first of all, it is my task to give you an introduction of our project. What is the Turntable? Turntable is a platform for supporting vitality and abilities of elderly people, and it is founded from AAL, that is an European activity. The coordinator is Abinsula, so I am the coordinator, even if I have to say that I was completely helped from the work package leader, all the teams, that is because it is quite a huge work. It is not easy to do by myself only. We started in May 2019, and we are finishing now, so on 31 of October. So we did everything, and with a budget that is 1,700,000, and we involved many partners for the entire Europe. So, which partners? Basically, we are Abinsula, that is a small medium enterprise, but we have also participation of Hungary, University of Pannonia, University of Cagliari, a small medium enterprise also for Hungary, that is GINF, represented by Balas today. And then we have a participation from Slovenia, another company, this is Simbioza, that give an overview to our work. And from Portugal, we have both a large enterprise, also research and development center, that is Istituto Pedro Nunes. And then also is also a large enterprise. It is a telecommunication company that helped us to find a good business model for what we did. Because our project is not only to develop a test, but also to promote activity and business activity in the future. And finally, there is a Tomappo from Slovenia. So, which is the mission of Turntable? Turntable is a platform able to promote and guide healthy and active aging among older adults and prolong their expectation of autonomous and independent life. This is a very huge mission. So how we did this, how we reached this mission. Basically, our idea is to promote social gardening, so the possibility that people can have a gardening together. That this type of social gatherings allows the people that we do this activity to have intergenerational cooperation. So, for example, an elderly person can speak with some relatives related to the gathering. It is also related to the health because we have vegetable gardens, so we eat what we plant, and elderly people also eat what they plant. So this is good also for nutrition, physical activity, and we will see with our trials that we have also some very good results in terms of disease prevention, monitoring, and management. Safe homes, because we receive an help from technology, basically sensors. So we invest also our work in understand how connected device can help our work. So the problem is that typically people, when age, they tend to become more sedentary and less active. The idea is that gardening is a very, very good activity to promote and to avoid the decline in muscle mass, strength, and power. Additionally, we have also the possibility with the social activity to be connected to other people. So we prevent also the isolation of elderly people. And finally, it is a vegetable garden, so we have also good nutritional status that we promote for our. This is the problem, so this is what we provide as a solution. The final solution, so it is a personalized recommendation of vegetables, a personalized way how to grow and receive and harvest the plants. We do also vegetable gardens all together. So we will see that our solution, it is quite huge. It is not only technology, but it is also something that help the life and allow our user to acquire new skills, enjoy also green and outdoor spaces. So this is what we observed during these 3 years. So finally, that was the problem. We have a solution, but the solution we need a project. The project is the development of a platform, a one-stop shop for ICT solution for the elderly people. It is important that we involve people not only at the end of the project, not only during the test, but since the beginning of the project with the co-creation session, we accepted and we promote suggestions from our users in order to develop and design the test in a very good way. And finally, we test. This is the right approach. And this approach ensure for us adoption and sustainability of our solution. Our app platform at the end of the project is a connected device. So there are some sensors that we put in the ground in order to monitor vegetable garden. It is a social gardening activity. So with the Tomappo, it is a garden planner designed by Proventus. The boy here represented this type of product. Not only we monitor the garden, but we allow the people to design their gardens and to follow and receive guides of every gardening activities, from soil preparation to the garden planting and take care of the plants and also the cooking. And we will see during the technology overview that the Boyan will give us more details. Turntable is also an integrated platform, so it is something that integrates all the technology. It is open, so we can add also some other application if needed. And with this integrated platform, all the users can speak each other in order to have some suggestion, to take photo, to share their experience, have a social gardening activity. So when you go in your garden, you are not alone in person, because usually you are with other people, but also in a social way and with the internet, because they are connected also with other people that have probably the same passion. So we have a Turntable version of Tomappo. We have also the application of the sensor. In this case, you can see some tests before going in the final test, that it is a small vegetable garden in a house. And so we design everything. As anticipated before, we try to have two particular phases during our project. We involve end users since the beginning of the project. So we did some co-creation session in order to understand which type of needs or what we have to adapt our solution that was not native for elderly people in order to be used from elderly people. And finally, the field trials that we did. Several very good comments, but we will see during the third speech of Daniela and Istvan, some summary here. They give us the solution because our users were attracted from technology in the garden, so the sensor. They wanted to have a suggestion, so they selected Tomappo and Gruino as the biggest application of the final solution. They prefer to have a single integrated solution, so we did the work in order to have an integrated solution. They are very happy to have a social function and also to be in contact to the other users. In particular, they asked us to adapt the interface in a way for elderly people. I have also some issue with my view, because sometimes you need a bigger color, bigger fonts, and so on. The graphic user interface should provide more help to find the item and so on, because they are not native digital, so they need to have a new user interface. We will see in the this is a very small summary what we will see in another speech. The idea is that we improve the quality of life. This is what we expect at the beginning of the project. So we will see if we reach this type of objective at the end. So this we try to show a story for you during this day. So to improve the quality of life, reduce stress level. Gardening is a very good way to promote relaxation and reduce the stress level. Reduce the sense of isolation. That we have a very collaborative activities between all the people. Increase the level of physical activity, and I admit that sometimes it is quite hard. So we should be careful also to the physical activity, acquire new skills. There are some people that was very expert at the beginning of the project in gardening, but at the end, but other people know. So we promote also to exchange data between all the people. Enjoy greens and outdoor spaces. This is quite good also in the smart cities, that it is not easy to find gardens, so we find and we enjoy also outdoor spaces. Grow healthy food that was not only healthy, but it was very good. And we will see some pictures that we had a very good harvesting of vegetable and save money because they prepare the vegetable by themselves. We have an application that Bart will show us, and finally, if you and I give him the possibility to give you more details. If you need more information about our project, you can find everything in our website. That you can find our project description, the technology that we use, the partners, in order to contact directly the partners from your country, for example, and also we are connected to the AAL activity and the AAL website. That is an horizon, an European activity that promote our project. Together with the national funding activity authorities. For example, for Italy was the Ministry of University. So I finished my small introduction, and that it was like a summary of what you will see in the next speech. So my idea is now is to ask to Balazs to join our conference and speak about about our technology and what he designed, and also all the issue that we provide him, because it is not easy to integrate different things from several countries, several technologies. So it was not so easy. We find a solution. Hi, Balazs. Thank you very much to join our conference.
Thank you for the introduction. So I'm Balázs from Hungary, from GIM Systems, and we were the lead integrators of the Turntable solution, and basically we had developed this whole integrated service we call the Turntable platform. We can group the services into probably four main categories, the first of which the mobile development we did. We had two pre-existing applications we needed to extend, Lively and Tomappo. Boyan and Antonio will help introduce those applications. And we created a new application we call Turntable Dashboard to integrate all these solutions into a so-called single application. They are still separate application in the background, but we wanted to provide an integrated experience for the elderly, because it's so cumbersome for them to actually start using a mobile device. We wanted to have a single application, at least looking like a single application and a single service. Therefore, we also integrated the social networking platform into the application, so they have everything in place in a simple form and fashion. We will also talk about the hardware device, which needed to be integrated, the Agrumino device. And we will dig deeper, look into the background of the Turntable solution. We will introduce you how the administrator interface looks, how administrators can configure the system. And then we will look into the real background, the server infrastructure and the software development infrastructure. There are other parts of the development which are not going to be detailed here. For example, University of Pannonica did a lot of data analysis from the data gathered on the field trials. And also a Portuguese partner, Nunes, developed an Android TV system. You might be hearing that from a different presentation. So let's start with the mobile development. We wanted to create a cross-platform application. Although Lively and Tomappo are only for Android, the Turntable Dashboard application is actually cross-platform. At the moment, it's only available on the Google Store, but in the future, it can be extended to the Apple Store as well. So the application provides the features seamlessly integrating Tomappo and Lively, and also provides social integration functionality like adding friends and showing a news feed. But when you install the Turntable application, you see an interface where you can install the embedded application Tomappo and Lively, and when you click on these buttons, the application will automatically install the embedded application. You can reach out to your friends or read their news feed, or you can provide your feed to your friends. So you see the friends list here, your news feed, and the news feed reader subsite. When you want to inform your friends about what's happening with your plant or in your life, you can easily do that through this interface. Basically, a simple dashboard application allows for installing the Turntable, the Tomappo and the Lively application, and it provides ways for the end users to open those applications. And in the background, when the end user opens those applications, we provide login tokens for the Lively and the Tomappo applications. So there is no need for those applications to actually perform another user login. They will get the login token so that those embedded applications can provide data to the server, so that the server knows that those applications are actually run by the given user. So I will hand it over to Bojan to, in a few words, introduce the Tomappo application.
So hello, I'm Bojan Blažica, product manager of Tomappo, your personal gardening assistant. So yeah, as the name suggests, Tomappo is an application that helps anyone grow their own vegetables. It actually started years ago as an idea to do an application on a startup weekend, and the idea was to replicate the gardening methods of my father. He is now 77, so he's in the right demographic for this project. And how does he go about gardening? In the winter, he makes a plan, of course, with pen and paper, what he will be growing in the next season. And then throughout the season, he takes notes, what was working, what was not working, and so on. And also what he does is that he looks at the gardening calendar, the sowing calendar, which is based on the moon and the planets and so on. And this is something that that gardeners are used to. And this is why the interface, as you see it in the leftmost image, resembles a gardening calendar with telling you what you can plan on a certain day and so on. So in the winter, you can make a plan of the garden with a web-based application. And that one helps you organize the garden, taking into consideration gardening best practices, such as crop rotation and companion planting, which is a complicated task because you have to organize everything in space and time. But in an interactive way, it is made easy. And then you have the mobile application that, through the calendar, gives you advice when you need it and where you need it. You can see in the menu, the second picture from the left, all the things that Tomappo enables the users. So we have this calendar, which is the base. You can check the garden plan, which changes from week to week. You can connect to the sensor, do seed exchange. You have information about pest and disease. And one of the things that's most useful in the application is actually information about around 60 vegetables, the most popular ones. And we summed up the information from a lot of books and made them available through the application in a really concise way, as you can see in the image on the right, so that when you're in the garden, you can quickly check good and bad neighbors or sowing times and different information about the vegetables you are using. So in short, this is what Tomappo does, and I have to say that users like it a lot. It has quite a high rating on Google Play among gardening applications, and we are really happy to see that it is also used by the elderly, and it can help them improve their lives. So we were really happy to collaborate in this project. So in short, that was it. And Balázs, back to you, or it's Antonio now.
Yeah, thank you, Bojan. And we continue with Antonio presenting the Lively application.
Thank you.
So as we anticipated, we participated in the project with two different technology. One is the Agrumino. Agrumino is a smart sensor for soil moisture, temperature, humidity, and luminosity, and help us to give data of what really happens in the garden. So using also the technology of Tomappo and his database, we are able to provide information also of the plant that is connected with our device, and connecting to the sensor, we are able to see all the data, that is temperature, soil moisture, and luminosity. In particular, also we are able to provide some suggestions related to when we have to water, for example, our plant, or if the condition in terms of temperature and luminosity are good for the type of plants that we are using. This is the main idea of Agrumino. Maybe we have some other picture. Yeah, as you can see here, we have some other suggestions. At the end of the project, also we provide a healthy benefit. So in our data, we increase our database, not only providing help related how to take care of the plants, but also to add healthy benefit of every vegetable that we have in our database. In this way, we can provide some suggestions to the final users, and some also promotion of what it is good for how it's good to eat vegetables, in particular the vegetables that they grow. This is not a medical recommendation. This is only some common knowledge. But it is a common knowledge that we provide to our user about the healthy benefit of every vegetables, and we ask them also to take control always if it is good for their healthy status. So we can go with it. So here we can see our hardware. That this is the hardware that we put in the soil moisture. Here you can see naked, but in our garden we use protection in order to be used also when it is raining, and we had a lot of sensor in the entire Europe. In particular, we have 20 installed in Italy, 20 installed in Portugal, and 20 installed in Belgium. And everyone is speaking and giving us the data that they provide, that I said before. Okay, I'm very proud of this picture because our partners, in particular in Portugal, they prepared a kit, a very good kit with protection, a manual, and the box of everything, in order that people can do also their gardening activity and gardening installation with a sensor in a safe way. So this is a very nice picture of what they did. So that's the kit that we give to our users. So that's
okay, thank you, Antonio. And we continue with the background infrastructure of Turntable. First, we see the web-based administrator interface, and then we continue with the backend software. So, because the Turntable project is multinational, multilingual, we needed to create a dashboard interface where basically the services we provide can be reached by, multiple administrators from the multiple countries we are running the services in. So we needed to make this administrator interface generic. You will see the English language interface, but also so the whole system is multilingual by nature. We created a browser-based user interface based on React, JS, and Google Polymer, and the server backend of this interface is based on Node.js and C++. So it's very important that the whole data representation and storage for the administration system is generic. Everything is grouped into roles, groups, operations, and users, and one can define very, very specific setup of the system based on these concepts with very high granularity. Without going deep into the setup of the system, when a user is registered, every user belongs to a group. The groups can be associated with roles, and the roles can be associated with operations. And with these generic concepts, the whole internal basically workflow of the system can be described, and also rights management, user right management can be dealt with. So you see the interface of the system and how one role can inherit another role, how one can create groups, and how those groups can be administered. So this is the administrator interface, and very important that this can be extended easily to support new applications and new operations, so that the system is not closed and the internal behavior of the system is not hard-coded into the source code, but it's extensible for the future. Let's see how this system is built in the backend, how we built it. We investigated various source version control management systems, and we decided to go with GitLab, self-hosted GitLab solution, and we decided to use the continuous integration, continuous delivery feature of GitLab. This is the interface where we have all the sub-projects in our GitLab solutions. It's important that we used the source code of Lively and Tomappo and created a turntable version of these applications, because these turntable version applications of Lively and Tomappo have additional functionality we needed to add. We also investigated various virtual machine hosting solutions, and we singled out Proxmox, which is also used by Contable. It's based on the KVM virtualization technology, also used by Amazon Web Services. It was a good solution for us because it's free for use, no licensing problems, and better cluster management available in the free version than, for example, in VMware. So how the server infrastructure works and how do we provide messaging and identity and access management between the various components. We also investigated many messaging platforms like ZeroMQ, NanoMessage, RabbitMQ, Apache Kafka. And the choice was to use our internally developed messaging solution because we didn't want to be logged in by any vendor. So most of these solutions are free for use for a given user count, but then it become paid services. So therefore, we decided not to use Auth0 or OneLogin, but use our own solution. So there are no hidden fees for the consortium in the future. We can scale, without issues. The database behind the system is quite simple. So this is to show you that we have actually a few tables to store all the information of the users and the events generated by these various applications. And the important part is that some of the semantic information connected to the data gathered is actually not stored in a prefabricated structure of the database, but it's actually defined by the data itself. This is also for allowing the whole solution to be extendable in the future. We created a Turntable server API for the Turntable applications to support, for example, logging the user in. You see the login procedure protocol on the screen. This protocol is implemented in all the Turntable applications at the moment, and this was integrated into the Turntable versions of Lively and Tomappo as well. whenever you want to add the new application to the Turntable system, an administrator can actually create application-specific events, which will be then can be logged or used by the new applications added to the system. And there is a pretty easy protocol for extending the system with new events, which then can be logged. There is an option for third-party applications to connect to the system. You can think of Facebook and an external application getting access to your data on Facebook, for example, reading your contact list or reading your comments, or maybe actually posting something to your feed. It's similar in Turntable. A user, once logged in, can give access rights to a third-party application to read user data or read data associated with a given user, like read data of a plant associated to a given user. And once that access right is granted to the third-party application, the application actually can pretty easily get that data from the Turntable server. In the background, especially for redundancy, we tested Kubernetes for hosting the whole solution. Instead of running a single server, we set up a Kubernetes cluster. It's a self-hosted cluster because we didn't want to be logged into solutions like Amazon Cloud or Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud. It's very important to note that we can run our solutions on these proprietary cloud services, but we are not logged in to any of these solutions. First, we use PostgreSQL to host the database, and then we switch to a PostgreSQL compatible database called Yugabyte for database redundancy. And the distributed Yugabyte database is hosted on a Kubernetes cluster. And if we need a large-scale extension in the future, this can be also extended into Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, or Amazon Web Services. So basically, this was the short summary of the Turntable technological solutions. If you have any questions, feel free.
Yeah, it is a when we try to find an agenda for today. Our idea is, and consider also the people that are attending now, our idea was to have something for technological people and something for gardening and elderly people. Right. And it was a very good presentation because we can go in details also for our users, for our attendances, that we design something that that is for the future. So we started to investigate about scaling of the application, the possibility to have a cloud database, and also the state of art in terms of deployment, like we saw Kubernetes and so on. Yeah. So this is something that we hope will give additional life to our application also after the project, and be ready also for the business. Yeah, this is. Thank you very much, Bas. As usual, I am also an attendant from the technological part, so I like very much this part. And thank you very much. Now we can go. We can see. So we saw the introduction of the technology. We saw the introduction of the project, and now we will see how we use this technology. And we asked to Daniela Aloy from the University of Cagliari. She is responsible for the activity. Also, you had an interview with television yesterday, no? Not really.
Yes.
Okay, so she's quite famous because she's she's very close to the soil activities, so that are interesting for television. So you are always in the TV. We saw you, and very good. When you are ready, you can show us how we did how we work with our users.
Perfect. Thank you, Antonio, for your introduction. So good morning, everyone. I'm Daniela Loy. I'm project manager at the University of Cagliari, and I'm here today, as Antonio already mentioned, to talk about the Turntable intervention study and to explain how we get all the adults involved in the project. So these are the main goals of the intervention study. Antonio mentioned some of them in his presentation, but I wanted to highlight that the scope of the trials activity were to assess if Turntable is able to improve mental and psychological well-being of its users, so of older adults, and if it can facilitate the creation and maintenance of new contacts among users. Moreover, we want to assess if Turntable can help other adults in acquiring new skills and new knowledge, and if it can promote vegetable intake in their diets, and last but not least, improve their attitude and familiarity with digital technology. The target population for the study was adults aging 60 years or above, with an interest in gardening activities. They can be garden experts or beginners, with the familiarity with the touchscreen technology and with no injury that could prevent or limit the gardening activities. The trial location of the project were located in Italy, in Belgium, and in Portugal. I will show you some details about all these sites. So in Italy, the gardens were organized in the Botanical Garden of Cagliari, so we are in Sardinia. There is a very big botanical garden in the city center of Cagliari, and we have dedicated area, you can see here in the red square, an area for the Turntable activities. So each participant receives a small garden. Here you can see in the pictures the border of each garden. While in Belgium, the gardens were created at the property of social care home in Etterbeek in Brussels. While in Portugal, they have two different approaches, one in the home settings, so participants use their own gardens, and they use also the social garden in Sur-Qualità. So I've tried here to summarize the procedure of our intervention study. So once recruited, the participants were informed about the goals and the methods of the study and were asked to sign an informed consent. Then all participants attended in-person training session covering everything they needed to install and configure the application and the sensor on the smartphones and to learn how to best utilize Turntable. Before the intervention, then participants completed a pre-participation questionnaire about demographic data and gardening habits for those that already were familiar with gardening, and to complete a set of questionnaires investigating different variables. We will go in details about this part with the next presentation of Stefan from the University of Pannonica. So in the intervention period, participants followed a gardening program with the support of Turntable applications and with the support also of agrumino-sensor. After the intervention, participants repeated the same set of questionnaires, plus some questionnaires about usability and user experience. And then they answered also to a final interview. The effects of Turntable were evaluated by comparing surveys responses at these two time points, before and after intervention. So I provided here some information about our recruitment process. It was not so easy because we were in the middle of the pandemic of COVID-19. So we try to implement a continuous recruitment process to help in filling vacancy quickly. we produced it and translated in 3 different languages recruitment flyers, and we posted them in target places and areas. We use social media a lot for the recruitment process. We use also personal connection, including relatives, parents, neighbors. And we try to maintain a good communication, a good relationship with the first participants, in order that they could help us in recruiting more people for the next activities. In Italy, we have just some different activities for the recruitment in the three different countries. In Italy, the recruitment flyers were placed at the Botanical Garden in Kiosk and at the cultivation area to inform passers-by about the experiment and to inform them about the possibility to join the Turntable project. And we also use a lot the help of our first participant, allowing them to, asking them to post something about their activities on the social media accounts. While in Belgium, recruitment announcements were posted on Facebook mainly, and also in a newspaper. And the flyers were distributed in various places in Brussels and outside, among them gardening clubs or libraries. And they also reached out directly to care homes and supported the living homes. In Portugal, there was an online presence established through posts, mainly on Facebook, and there was also an online recruitment. There were also very helpful the partnership with the municipalities and social care association. The recruitment was mainly done from personal and professional networks, like previous projects involving older adults or relatives. These are the main steps of the training process. So we have prepared training materials and guidelines that we have discussed and provided them to our participants. We have participants that follow training session focusing on apps installations and some configuration, but also simulation of possible scenarios. So they learn how acquire knowledge, how control garden remotely, and how share skills, experience, and goals before to start with the intervention activities. So the intervention, I have reported here in this scheme the main activities, gathering activities that were performed during the intervention study by our participants. As you can see, they started with installing the table, then they prepare and plant the garden, they start seeding, sowings, and transplant, they mark the planting rows, then they install and configure a luminosensor, and then the other last activities lasted for all the intervention study that were mainly watering plants, maintaining them, and the final activity that was the harvesting activity. So you already see some of these screenshots. So these are from the Tomappo application. So our participants during the intervention period were allowed to acquire new knowledge about a database of more of 60 plants. So they can get information about every plant, like I put here an example for the carrots. So you can see a set of information provided that helped and guided our participants in planning and preparing their garden. Then they control the garden remotely, reading the data from the sensor remotely from home, but also receiving from each plant some messages like "I need water" or "Please help me, I need more light," or something like that. They also were able to share skills, experience, and goals, as Bojan already and as Balázs already explained in his presentation. So they use a lot also this functionality. These are the crops that were mainly planted by our participants. Obviously, they are divided by season. So in the autumn-winter garden, since I forgot to mention that our trial activities lasted for more than 1 year. So we had the opportunity to organize a different garden for each season. So we had an autumn and winter garden and the spring and summer garden. So for each of them, obviously, participants had the opportunity to plant different plants. This is our sample sites. We started with 164 participants in the three. These are the total numbers, so the global number from the 3 countries: Italy, Belgium, and Portugal. So we were able to recruit 164 participants, but due to some dropout reasons, finally 111 participants were able to complete the intervention study. These were the mainly dropout reasons, so more related to health condition of the participants or their relatives. We had some particular situation in Italy during the intervention period. During the winter period, there was the green pass needed to access the botanical garden, so some participants had to left the study. So we have some difficulty. Participants have also some difficulties in configuring Turntable at home, so they decided to left the study. And there were also some dropout reasons related with the delay in the execution of summer trials. For example, here in Sardinia, we had some delays, so the summer garden started in end of April. So during this summer, during June and July, the weather was very hot, and also it corresponds to a period when people are involved in their grandchildren care from June to September. So some of them had to decided to drop out. So these are the first results that we obtained from the autumn-winter garden. So we had a significant improvement in quality of life and also in cognitive function, and to a lesser extent also in subjective well-being of participants. We are still analyzing the results of the spring-summer garden, and we will be able to compare the results obtained in the different countries very soon. What we can say from now is that all the participants were able to successfully harvest both winter and summer vegetables. These are some pictures taken from our summer gardens. As you can see, they were very happy of harvest something. So it was very interesting to see the reaction. Regarding the social aspect, I can say that more than 40,000 of users events were registered. So we proved that a new community has been created on the Turntable platform. And since we know that creating collaborative dynamics among strangers is not easy, we are very proud of these results. So thank you for your attention. And now I think that it's Van will provide more details about trials.
Thank you, Daniela. As always, it is quite emotional to see the picture of people that work together and they used our technologies and our process. So we are very, very happy of this. And basically, I had the possibility to visit the garden in Cagliari, and it is a Orto Botanico of Cagliari. I suggest all the people to visit also if they don't have to grow vegetable garden, because it is a very fantastic place in the center of the city. And I noted also that also in Portugal and Belgium, unfortunately we didn't visit for COVID situation and so on. And but we did a very good work in the garden. Thank you very much, Daniela. We give you the possibility also. Now we have to analyze the data, and there is Istvan Vasani from University of Pannonia in Hungary, and he. Hi, Istvan.
Hi.
So thank you very much to join this call. I know that you have also lecturers in this so.
Yes, I was happy to join you. So
thank you very much. We are curious now of the results. I know, but we have to give to our attendances.
Okay. So good afternoon, everybody. I am István Vasányi from the University of Pannonia, Hungary, and I will give you a brief overview of the results connected to the field trials. Well, you have already heard that we have taken some questionnaires and other measurements during the field trials to somehow measure up the effect of this intervention of the using of the turntable system. So we had two sorts, basically. We had standardized questionnaires and ad hoc questionnaires. Standardized means, in this respect, that such questionnaires are widely used in the social sciences, and they are focused on a certain aspect of life quality. And they have specialized scoring methods to provide the numeric measure regarding the property. So these special features are emphasized in boldface in this list that you see. We have the World Health Organization standard forms on the quality of life in a special version for the elderly people. And some of these scales have some subscales as well, because we can separately measure up a sub-aspect of the main property. We have also a form on the loneliness of the participants. It's a very important aspect for elderly people regarding the quality of life, depression form, and the self-esteem. And also cognitive capabilities are known to decline a bit in elderly people. So we measured also the cognitive functions and the positive and negative emotions or affections, and the perceived social support. So this is the support that the participant feels that they receive from the community. And we also had two standard questionnaires to measure up the satisfaction regarding our specific turntable solution, hardware and software solution. This is the user experience questionnaire and the system usability scale. And we also designed our own questionnaires. We had a peer participation questionnaire to find the demographic data like the gender, age, and the marital status, employment status, and so on and so on. And because the application field of this project was leisure gardening, then we were interested in the perceived benefits of gardening. We, of course, expected that if they like our system, they like gardening, then we will see an increase in the perceived benefits of gardening. And we also logged the dietary habits of the participants. So the basic idea was that these questionnaires, most of them are repeated in the control period and in the intervention period. And if we see a change, then we try to understand the change. We, of course, hope that there will be some sorts of improvements. Okay, and let's see the basic methodology. So we had SurveyMonkey forms that were managed by the trial managers in the 3 countries, and the participants filled in these forms or questionnaires, and the answers were federated in a central research database. It was an anonymized database, and it was also merged with the data taken from the framework center database, which logged the user events, because we were interested in the involvement of users, the activity of the users as well. Then we performed the manual data cleaning phase. Here we removed the bad data. In some cases, we had to exclude a certain participant because low quality data was used and so on. And we also introduced new scale type variables for the gender and the garden type and other fields to make them suitable for numerical analysis. And we introduced also two measures for the user commitment. The ratio of active days. Active in this respect means days in which the volunteer actually used the Turntable solution, at least for reading the news or sharing a photo or something else. So we used computer programs to compute these scores, these numerical scores, and then we performed statistical analysis. As for the statistical analysis, for each country and for each group, we perform the data exploration to find outliers, for example, and to check the distribution of the values. And we check the correlation between the independent variables and the startup, so control phase scores. The independent variables are the gender, age, and marital status, and so on and so on. And the user commitment can also be regarded as an independent variable that has an effect on these scores. And we computed these correlations because they are characteristic to the trial group in some respect. And then the most important check was the check of the changes in the scores. We compared the startup or T0 score to the intervention score, and if there was an improvement or worsening, then we checked whether it is statistically significant or not. And in some cases, we also try to find the best predictors of these changes. We also compared the countries, whether there is a difference between the countries. And also there was a semi-structured part of the final interview. Not all of the results we have right now, but the general impressions were very interesting to see. So this was the input data. This is the input data right now. I have to mention that the trial in Portugal is still ongoing, so we have probably more data. And also that the analysis is not complete yet, but we still have some very interesting results to show. You see that in the 3 countries, if you add together the numbers of volunteers, it's less than the 111 that Daniel mentioned. It's because some of the volunteers had to be excluded because of the low quality of data. And after that, we have a total of 107 volunteers included in this analysis. And the boldface numbers show the difference, a very important difference between the 3 countries. The average age in Belgium is nearly 20 years more than in the 2 other countries. So this is a significantly different population. It was very interesting to see the difference in the performance as well. Out of the 3 field trial premises, the most complete trial was performed in Italy because there we had all scores available for both the T0 and the T1, so the control phase and the intervention phase. And here we had the most user events, nearly 40,000 user events, which means it was a very active group, and they used our system a lot. And where, of course, the distribution of the genders was not equal. There are always usually there are more women than men at such old ages. Compared to this, in Belgium, we had a single large group, but some of the scores were not available for several reasons, and we still don't have the results of the final interview. And in Portugal, we have the results only of a small group right now, and only just some of the scores could be used. So this was the input data. And then let's see the results. So the first question was, is there a connection between the control phase scores and the independent variables? And this shows the results of the group A of Italy. And you can see, well, these are correlation coefficients. So these are the significant correlations. The ones marked with an asterisk are strongly significant. And when you see that the correlation between MoCA and education is 0.6, for example, it means that a more highly educated person performed better on this cognitive test. And the RSES, if you remember, it means the self-esteem, and it means that they already had a higher self-esteem compared to the others. You can also see, for example, that the marital status is very good for the quality of life. This negative signs means only that the code of the female gender was different from the male code. And if you compare this table to the corresponding table taken in Belgium, you see some differences. The biggest difference is that the age is predominant in Belgium. Very important, it seems. This is something that we can now confirm, that where in this age, in this group, we had volunteers over 100 years old. And so it means that it has a very important effect on all the aspects of the quality of life you see. While in the previous slide we had the age appearing only in 2 cases. But there are similar phenomena as well. So, for example, the self-esteem is correlated with the education. So the more important part of the analysis was changes. So what sort of change did we see during the trial with respect to the control period? So in this figure, you see the green bars where an improvement was detected, and the red bar shows worsening of a certain score. Here you see the scores. So this is the depression. This is the gardening, the perceived gardening. The next one is the perceived gardening benefits, and the cognitive capabilities, and so on and so on. And the black border, black frame means that it's a statistically significant improvement. So we see that in the quality of life and in the cognitive capabilities and in the gardening benefits, there was a positive, statistically significant positive change. And we also checked that the improvement in gardening is related or linked to the user activity, the user commitment. So we can summarize it like if you invest more energy in gardening, you get more satisfaction in gardening. And of course, MoCA was correlated with the education. Now, if you compare this change graph with the graph from Belgium, you see that here we had more worsening scores than in Italy, but still we had mostly improvements. Again, we had a quite important improvement in gardening, and this is statistically significant. So it means that at least the general idea of gardening at elderly ages is probably a good idea, because the users were convinced that they have benefits from from gardening. And we can also see that the perceived quality of life in the subdomains of health and the social domain has also improved. So this is very good. Unfortunately, from Portugal, we don't have so many records to create such an analysis, but yet it is quite interesting to see some distributions of the scores compared in the 3 countries. You see, we have the 3 colors for the 3 countries, and Belgium is the green one, and Portugal is the red one. So you see that some of the control phase scores are quite similar, like the social support, but there are quite different ones. So, for example, this PANOS, this is the positive or negative. This is a positive emotional scale, and this is really lower in Belgium than in the other 2 countries. This is a different group. They live in an elderly home, and the average age is, as I mentioned, 20 years more than in the other 2 groups, the other 2 countries. And you can also see that the perceived gardening benefits are lower in Belgium than in the other 2 countries. And this can also have some reasons in the actual implementation of the trial, or the logistics of the trial, or in fact the different age can be a factor. And you see that in Italy, on the right side, this SUS is the system usability. So it were the Italian volunteers that appreciated most our system. They liked it the most. It probably has something to do with the logistics and the organization of the trial, as well as the software. So I have to note that we of course couldn't control all factors in this trial. So, for example, the gardening is different in the wintertime than in the summertime, and we also couldn't take into account the COVID situation. The COVID could cause a general feeling of depression all around Europe. We all experience this, and this can contribute to this perceived quality of life scores as well. We have seen that there are significant differences among the countries, which is, I think, not so very surprising. Even if we could have used the same age group, we could have expected such differences. However, we detected some statistically significant improvements in the standard scores related to quality of life, and this is very promising. And if we compare our trial or this whole project to other similar projects around the world, the novelty of our results and our work lies in the fact that this was a quite large-scale project involving more than 100 volunteers even by now, and we will have even more by the end of all the trials. And we used a very elaborate protocol, and not just one success marker, or output variable in the form of these scores. So this means that this is a very strong result, and a result that is specific for Europe. So these are just the final interview comments from the unstructured part. You can see that the most challenging part was for some of the participants that they had to learn from a mobile app and not from a tutor, and this was challenging but rewarding. Some of them were enthusiastic, and a general remark was that they really wanted to continue the trial for more than just 3 months. And well, they got some support from the social side because this app connected them, and also the gardening activities connected them. So this is a very positive side of this project. So as a conclusion, we can report on an overall positive effect of this idea of IT-supported leisure gardening, both on the side of the social aspects and on the health side. Staying healthy is a general goal, but if you do gardening, then it has a frame to support that. We have seen considerable differences among countries, and we will of course refine the data analysis, both the scope and the method in the future. So that's what I could say right now. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much, Istvan. As we noted, we have some expectation at the beginning of the project, and something we collected at the end was quite aligned with our expectation. But now we have also the possibility to measure exactly what happens, and it was the good part of our work, and also we noted with this data that basically our elderly people could be different in different countries, in different way to live. For example, people that live at home, live in have a house, and so on. We noted that there are a lot of differences between countries and also the tests. So
yes, cultural differences.
And
of course, yeah.
And the difference, it is something that help us also to understand better how to improve the technology. Also, their suggestion was very nice suggestion. So more green spaces, I think that is something that everyone needs.
Yes, and you know, in gardening, the result of your work is harvesting. So you plant the seed and so on. And if you need more than 3 months to harvest, it's more rewarding. So this was a general remark, I think.
If you are okay, I call also. So you are a frontman of this project, like me and Daniela, Balas, and Boyan. But I needed also to thank you very much. The other partners that didn't participate but are in the background, in particular Nosh, that they are developing now the business model, business plan of our project, and the organizer of this of our dissemination activity, that is EuroFIR, that they are also the food organization that helped us in the entire project. That is a not funding a research and development center in Brussels, a private centrum that helped us in the entire project. And thank you very much. And it is good also to present Angelica from EuroFIR. Hi, Angelica.
Thank you. Hi, thank you.
Are you satisfied with your work?
Yeah, of course. We would just probably have loved to be able to maybe extend the trial and have had more contact with the volunteers, but that was obviously very difficult because of the COVID situation.
Yeah, I was mentioning also that you are a dissemination leader, so this final event is something that you organized, and we are very happy. So unfortunately, it is not, as usual, it is not so easy to do something in person, even if last week we were all together in Gdansk, and we promote also our project during the European Week of in Gdansk. So that in Gdansk, Poland, it was very nice. We thank all the people, but now it is the time also to question and suggestion if we receive from our social. So I will check. I received 2 questions from University of Sasse in Agraria. It is agriculture university, and they asked me. I think that they are quite interested if the solution is plug and play. So we wanted to answer. I tried to answer to this question. I think that they want to use. I hope. From my side, it is plug and play for a single use. So if we wanted to give to some person, it is a solution that we can have and we can provide. And probably at the end of the project, it is part of our business activity. We should take care also of this aspect. But for our trials, it was not possible. It was not a plug and play. We needed to arrange a network, connection, organization, program every device in order to be continuously aligned to the network. So if you have to organize something that is bigger than one person, it is not plug and play. We need to arrange trials. I noted the work of all the 3 countries, Portugal and Belgium and Italy, and it was not so easy. But we can provide more information about this aspect if they need. Someone who wants to add something related to the hard work that we did in the trials?
No, maybe I just wanted to add that, I can speak for Tomappo, and Tomappo is, I don't know the question, plug and play, what exactly relates to, but the standalone version of Tomappo is freely available for Android phones, and the web garden planner is also available on tomappo.com. So feel free to take a look, and we are happy to do this kind of integrations as it was with Turntable, also in for other use.
Yeah, for a single use, and if they can download directly from the stores, and there is also a free plan, if I remember, and also for our device. And basically, yes, from the single use, it is quite. We designed everything to be plug and play. For if you want to organize a trials like the one that we organized, it is more complicated for sure. That's something, but it is a work that you can do. It is not related to the technological part. It is more related to the process and organize the garden and everything. So this is our answer.
Maybe an additional thing is to stress out is that the idea behind Turntable is that any additional application can be integrated and made easily available to the elderly. So, but to do this, you need to perform some technical work at the beginning, and after that, the application is available through the Turntable, let's say, mother application.
Thank you very much. I have another question that it is from Chetaqua in Spain, from Eloisa, is a researcher in Spain. And she asked us if we consider caregiver in our process. So basically, all the people involved were elderly people, and we act as a caregiver. So we help them to install the devices, and we to use the application. And also the application is naturally oriented for caregiver because we have also social connection. So now our users were all the elderly people, but if you want, you can add some relatives in order to help you to grow plants and give suggestions and receive suggestions about plants. And also the other people can help you to install and connect everything. In this project, we act as a caregiver just for the technological part. So we are not a caregiver from a LT status that we are not allowed, but we help the people to install the application, to configure, to check if they are correctly using, if they forget to use, because and we have this one. There is someone that want to add something? about this part?
I could just say that basically it was agreed that we would only involve volunteers that didn't require a caregiver, that would be autonomous still, so that they could do all the activities and use the technology themselves.
Okay. And in Belgium you had also the older tester. So
Yeah, but they were all still autonomous enough to. But yes, very high age.
you know that Sardinia is the Centennials Island.
Yes,
And,
yeah, I actually saw that in a documentary.
Yeah, and I admitted that I would have also some Centennials in Sardinia, but they live in sometimes not in the city, and we didn't have the possibility to reach some Centennials. Even if we have a lot of Centennials in our island, that probably they use vegetable garden before turntable.
Yeah, they probably eat very well and enjoy the Sardinian sun.
For sure. Okay, I don't know. I will check our channel if we receive other questions.
Maybe while you check, another comment on the aspect of involving caregivers is related to what I said before. The idea here is to have one-stop shop for the elderly. So if there are additional features or specific functions intended for caregivers, formal or informal, this could also be implemented and integrated in the platform. As Antonio mentioned, for now we have the social aspect. So everybody participating can act as a support, help to the other participants. But it is not hard to imagine some additional functionalities that would be implemented specifically for caregivers that can use Turntable to help the elderly. Because one nice thing about having everything in one place is that the users get used to the interface, how everything works, the user experience, and it's easier for them to start using another application. And it makes it the process with less friction. Also because we started with gardening, because we see that it is something that the elderly feel passionate about, and this is a motivation for them also to take up new skills, new technological skills, and a motivation to start using smartphones.
Great. I have to say that the father-in-law of this project is Bojan. That he designed many years ago this project when we were Erasmus entrepreneur together. So that's the good things. And he starts to imagine this project, and he gave me the responsibility, and I hate him. No, I love him. But he knows very well from the beginning of the project. And just to mention that you was the father, so unfortunately from some internal rules and funding issue that it is quite normal, and we prefer to coordinate by myself as Abinsula, but you know very well the project and also the main idea.
Why I speak, yes. Also, maybe this is a nice opportunity to say thank you to all of the people in the project that took it from idea to practice, so that we have all these images of the elderly doing something nice for them and to see some impact of.
Yeah, are you excited about
at the beginning?
Are you excited about the picture that we saw? Because no, yeah,
it's always nice. I mean, it's always nice. It's also nice to see the graphs of data analysis and the database structure that was presented. But at the end, this all serves to a purpose. So to make something good out of it. So thank you all.
You're welcome. Okay, we will have some public deliverables. Video will be online also to see after this live section, and also we are going to finalize everything. We finish very soon, so we are collecting all the data we will have some public deliverable in our website. So probably at the end we have also some good paper publication that we did for in the past, but probably we will do in the future with the final data. So that's I suggested to all the attendances to be connected with us, and we are finalizing, and probably we will give them more results than today. But we did, so we get our work. So that's what we wanted to present. I add also something that we organize some internal workshop in our country, and sometimes we drink also something together with our users. That's also another part of the project. We are very happy to be connected to our users that they are the wisdom of our society. I didn't receive any other questions, so probably we can finish. And thank you very much. If there is someone that wanted to add something or say hello, you can now. Oh, you're muted, Daniela, sorry.
Okay, sorry. No, just thank you everybody for attending and all partners for being so collaborative. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. And
Thank you, everyone.
hope to see you very soon in person. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.